Hey y'all, welcome back to our very bookish channel, and let's talk about Wild Dark Shore.
Hey guys, Jen here, and here's my opinion on Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaghy. I had been hearing about this book for a while. I am someone who loves fiction, and I pay a lot of attention to new fiction books that are coming out, especially when it is something that's also like a literary thriller. This one definitely felt like it would be in the realm of something I would enjoy. As more and more people were talking about it and raving about it, I thought I should probably pick this one up. And finally, I said to Amanda, I think this might actually be a good one for our viral book series because there are just so many people that are talking about it. I did really enjoy it. I thought I would like it more. And I think it's just the danger of an overhyped book. You got to watch how much people are really raving about something because it puts the bar really high. I don't feel, in my opinion, it was as good as everyone raving about it. It was still a 4-star read for me, and I would say that was mostly because of the last 25% of the book. I felt the beginning was definitely on the slower side, and there seemed to be, and I know it takes place on an island where they cultivate seeds. Never knew about this type of subject, and I have never read it about anything in this realm, and I felt it weighed it down a little bit. I just felt like it was probably too much for me, at least. I would rather have more plot or even more character development than learning that much about cultivating seeds. But I feel that the characters were interesting, but I do feel that it could be slow at times. And I was a little confused with Rowan and Dominic's, I want to say relationship. I don't know what you would say, interactions, and where it ultimately ends up going at the end. And I've seen descriptions, it said that it was pretty twisty, but I don't know if I would agree with that. There were definitely some twists, and it's probably relative to what you have read, because I feel I've definitely read more books with more twists. There are definitely some interesting plot twist in there, but I didn't feel like it was a twisty type of book, at least for me. One of the twists towards the end of the book, I definitely didn't see coming. Obviously, I'm not going to ruin it or talk about it, but there was one twist that I feel did get me very interesting, made the book much more interesting to me, but it does happen in the last 25% of the book. I was worried as I got to about the midpoint that it was just going to be a regular fictional book and the subject and characters weren't hugely interesting to me to make me really love the book. So I was a little concerned that this might end up being a book I didn't like at all, but I ended up really liking it for the rest of the book at the end. And I did listen to this on audio, and I think when there are either slower books, slow burns, or when a book is really bogged down in details, I feel audio can help. And maybe that's why I was able to get through the slower parts. I don't know. Some audiobooks, you don't know if you're going to like the narrator or if it's going to be good for those reasons. But I felt like the audio version of this was really well done, and I did really enjoy it. So if you do like audiobooks, I did think this was a very decent one to read that way. Now, I have to say, I am fairly certain Amanda is either going to DNF this or she is not going to like it. I don't foresee Amanda liking this one at all. It kind of reminded me of 11/22/63 by Stephen King, because that book isn't horror. If you know the book, it's much more on the fictional side, and she was not able to do it. It's just not her cup of tea. So I am concerned she isn't going to like it, but I didn't want to tell her that. She may surprise me. She may end up saying that she really loved it. I don't think she would push herself to go to the last 25% because I think that part of the book is really interesting enough that she would like it. Is it worth the whole book to get to that 25% for someone who doesn't really like fiction? Probably not. I don't think it's that great at the end. It's not like a 5-star, knocked me off my feet type of ending. I enjoyed myself. I thought it was a really great audiobook to listen to. I did really love it. If you like fiction, I think that it will definitely be something you enjoy. I feel like it does a good mix of character development and plot. That is my opinion on Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaghy.
My opinion on this book, I want to just put out there, and I think that if you are a constant viewer of our channel, you know this. I am not a general fiction reader. I would not have picked up this book if Jen hadn't pointed out that it would be a good book for our viral series. This book is going viral because it is a Reese's book club pick. I had to wait on a very long list at my library to get this book. I have seen it a lot on YouTube. I have heard people talking about this book. Jen says she's seen it a lot on TikTok and Instagram, and the stores are selling out of it. So that is the perfect type of book that we want to read for the series. Otherwise, I would not have read this book. And I'm not upset that I read this book. It was a good book. I did finish the book, so that does tell you something. I did not DNF this book. It's around 300 pages long, so it's not a terribly long book. The main theme of this book is nature. You can tell that the author is very passionate about nature. And when I'm looking at the titles of some of her other books, she wrote a book called Migrations and Once There Were Wolves. So the author obviously has a passion for nature. So the book is central around nature. Specifically in this book, you talk about seeds for plants. You talk about wildlife around this island. This does take place on a secluded island. And you're also talking about climate change. So if those are topics that you're passionate about and you're interested in, then I do think you're going to love this book because the author does make that the focal point of the book. I felt like the main point of this book is the themes of nature, but she took those themes and she wrapped a interesting story around it to make the book more interesting, make more people want to read the book so that they can be more aware of, I guess, her passion for nature or more aware of some of the things that could be going on in nature. So we don't really talk a lot about the plot of the books in these because the videos are so short, but very basically a woman is shipwrecked and she washes ashore of this tiny island where a family lives. It's a father, 3 kids, and their job is to just maintain the island and maintain the seed bank where these seeds are stored to preserve them. So this book wasn't really a book for me. I don't feel like this book was a book that was written for me as a target audience, but I did enjoy the story. I did enjoy uncovering all the little secrets. This author writes very elegantly, and I did find the writing very good. I did find the story that she tells very interesting. I really liked how you uncover all these little mysteries about these characters and how as a reader you kind of know or assume things about these characters, and it's fun to watch the other characters figure these things out. That part was very fun and interesting. That's sort of the part that kept me going in this book, was the story and uncovering all the little secrets. You're getting the tea. You're getting the tea about these characters, and that's kind of what kept me going and reading this book. Overall, I give it 2.5 stars. I can't remember if I gave it 2 or 3 on Goodreads, but for me, it was more 2.5 stars. 3 stars means I would recommend it. And personally, I would not recommend this book necessarily. If you have the same taste in books that I do with the fantasy, romantasy, romance, very fast paced, very grippy thrillers kind of books, then I wouldn't recommend this book for you. But I think if you have a taste in books more like Jen, then you're going to really like this book. I do think Jen probably really liked this book. So we will see. When I edit this, I'm going to find out.
Thanks for watching our thoughts on this book. And if you have a viral book you think we should read for this series, please plop it into the comments. Love to hear some thoughts out there. Thanks again for watching, guys, and until next time.